contained in our comprehensive news bulletin that will also feature Narok Governor Samuel Ole Tunai. John Jacob Kuria will be having a sit down with him a little bit later. So why don't you stay with us beginning right now all the way till the tail end of it. But first, here. It is a game of numbers and tactics, debating the controversial political parties amendment bill of 2021 deferred by countless amendments. Take the jab or stay away. Government pegs in-person services to COVID-19 vaccines. And closer to reality, East African heads of state agrees on 7 out of 10 steps towards admitting DRC into the bloc. All right, once again, welcome to the broadcast. My name is Serfine Achieng and our sign language interpreter is Ann Wangeshi. You are a part of this at KBC Channel 1 is where you can interact with us at Serfine_Achieng. Use the hashtag Prime Edition. And we begin straight away with our top story. The National Assembly had to resort to a division Wednesday to determine the fate of the controversial political parties amendment bill of 2021. After Deputy Speaker Moses Cheboy called on the mover of the motion to reply. 113 members voted in support while 68 voted against. But the victory for the proponents of the bill was short-lived as the attempts to have the debate on the same concluded was shelved due to volley of amendments proposed on the bill, some even seeking to amend the entire bill, which the Deputy Speaker said required harmonization. Here's that report.
In their numbers and might, members of the National Assembly on Wednesday morning trickled into the chamber to determine the fate of the now contentious Political Parties Amendment Bill 2021 that appears to have divided the House right in the middle.
Will as many as of that opinion say aye? Aye. Many as of the contrary opinion say nay? Nay. The ayes have it.
Moving the motion, the leader of the majority in the National Assembly, Amos Kimunya, took the legislators down the memory lane on the Kenyan coalition politics, saying the bill was seeking to cure the shortcomings that have been witnessed and instill discipline in party politics.
That when 2 or 3 parties come together, it cannot be the big brother that they are relying on to protect them. They must be protected in law. And hence, what we are providing for now is a legal recognition of any framework that allows 3 or so political parties to come up together so that they sponsor their candidates as a political party, they share in the money as a political party, and it's not up to big brother or small brother to control the shots. Now, that is the best thing that can happen to this country.
You cannot again come and fault this House from that we have not conducted enough public participation, because where is the definition of that enough?
Those in support of the bill calling upon their colleagues to rise above petty politics and think of the future of this nation, as coalitions are here to stay.
Coalition like NASA, eventually because of issues of funding, eventually implodes. All this need a cure, and this is one way that we can cure the problem.
But those opposed to the bill, and mainly allied to Deputy President, questioning the timing of the bill, saying it was aimed at curtailing democratic space in the country.
We are discussing, sincerely, it may not be what we are going to pass. There is need to harmonize the proposed amendments with the bill so that when we discuss something that is properly harmonized.
The debate was, however, decided through a vote after those opposed forced a division, and those in support carried the day with 113 votes against 68.
All members having amendments are to appear before the Departmental Committee on Justice and Legal Affairs for harmonization of the amendments. The committee is further required to engage the critical stakeholders, including officials of political parties, particularly in view of the fact that both houses of parliament represent over 21 political parties in the country.
But the bill was to face another hurdle after Deputy Speaker said a volley of amendments had been proposed by members, some even seeking to alter the entire bill, which required harmonization, and so he adjourned the debate on the same indefinitely. For Prime Edition, I'm Gladys Mungai.
All right, thank you, Gladys, for that report. Now, have you decided to take the jab? Here is a story that will interest you. The Ministry of Health is now warning that in-person government services will not be availed to those who have not received the COVID-19 jab. The ministry further warning that proof of vaccination will even be required to access public transport as the country moves to tame the surge of COVID-19 infection that has been on a steady rise in the last 1 week.
The Ministry of Health, in putting down these directives through the NERCC, is invoking the Public Health Act.
It is this directive that will see all Kenyans seeking in-person services in government offices, parastatals, public transport, hospitality and entertainment denied the same.
It is the sole responsibility of an event organizer, facility manager, government or parastatal office to ensure that the above requirements are met. In the event of non-compliance, action shall be taken, which may include the following: withdrawal of license of the institution and of court proceedings. Each establishment or facility shall be required to nominate or designate a person responsible for verifying vaccination certificates at all facility access points.
The Chief Administrative Secretary in the Ministry of Health, Dr. Mercy Mwangangi, saying the measures were to tame the steady rise in COVID-19 cases currently being witnessed in the country. The positivity rate as of Wednesday is standing at 29.7%.
As you go to that supermarket, you need to be protected, and you need to protect those who you will find there shopping who are vaccinated. As you go to that hotel for holiday, you need to protect the staff. We need to protect yourself and those who are also holidaying in that hotel. So the Ministry of Health, together with all the different designated mandatory officers of all the different institutions, are expected to ensure that these measures are adhered to.
Those wishing to travel to the country will also be required to show a COVID-19 vaccination certificate and a negative COVID-19 PCR test valid 72 hours.
Children below the age of 5 are exempted from PCR-based tests. Proof of vaccination will also be expected against COVID-19 with a WHO-approved vaccine. Children below 18 years of age are exempted from COVID-19 vaccination certificate presentation. We also require travelers to show us proof of submission of their daily health status,
urging Kenyans to turn out in large numbers to get vaccinated. Acting Director General Ministry of Health, Dr. Patrick Amoth, says those vaccinated have shown stability even when attacked by the new Omicron variant.
Persons admitted in various critical care units in the entire republic. Out of these 15, 10 are not vaccinated at all. So that's about 67% of the population admitted in critical care are not vaccinated. 5 are fully vaccinated.
The ministry promising to issue guidelines on the booster jab after a technical advisory team files a report. In the last 24 hours, the country recorded 3,328 new cases from a sample of 11,197. For Prime Edition, I'm Zainab Said.
You better stay safe. Make that decision as soon as you can. Now, from COVID to matters politics, Deputy President William Ruto now says there is a new scheme to impose a president on Kenyans, but it will fail miserably. Ruto, who addressed a series of rallies in Garissa town, said the scheme will meet the same fate like what befell the Building Bridges Initiative bill, which he said was meant to establish an imperial presidency.
Deputy President William Ruto has said the bid to amend the Political Parties Act is only aimed at having a puppet leader. Ruto noted that the plan was a renewal of the Building Bridges initiative that sought to create a president who could control the legislature, judiciary and executive.
We are telling our competitors they tried to install an imperial president on us that controls the judiciary, controls the executive, and controls the legislature. The people of Kenya said no, and they wanted to use the imperial president for them to lord over ordinary citizens of our nation. Now, because that scheme failed, they have now hatched another scheme to change the law so that they can divide the people of Kenya on ethnic village parties.
The DP assured those seeking United Democratic Alliance tickets in the 2022 general election that the party will hold a free and fair nomination exercise.
Katika chama ya UDA hakuna direct nomination anapatiwa mtu yeyote. Kila mmoja wetu ataenda kutafuta umaarufu na kura kwa wananchi. Nyinyi ndio mtaamua nani atakuwa candidate wa UDA kwa viti zote.
Leaders who accompanied him on the Garissa tour took issues with the timing of the political party's amendment bill, claiming it will water down democratic gains the country has achieved so far. The leaders assured the DP that the pastoral community is solidly behind his presidential bid.
Walitaribu kukata pesa ya resource ya Mandera, Wajia, Garissa, Tana River paka Isiolo paka Turkana. Wakasema sisi hatustahili kupewa pesa mingi. Wakagawa viti ya constituency 70. Sisi wakatunyima. Lakini tulisema reggae will stop.
Sisi watu ya Northeastern hatuungwi mkono William Ruto kwa ajili yeye alituambia ama alituuliza. Tunamuunga yeye mkono kwa ajili kule kwingine tumedhulumiwa, tumekosewa na tumefanywa kama ni wageni wa nchi hii.
All right, away from that, some good news from the Communications Authority of Kenya. Consumers will now enjoy lower calling rates following the review of mobile termination rates, MTRs, and fixed termination rates, also known as FTRs, by the authority. The latest review by the authority has capped the MTRs and FTRs at 0.12 shillings per minute with effect from 1st January 2022, and FTRs are the cost that operators charge each other to allow customers communicate across networks. Currently, all the telecommunication service providers are implementing an MTR and FTR of 0.99 shillings. Review was founded on the recognition that higher MTRs and FTRs mean higher calling rates for consumers. Now, this makes it difficult for consumers to enjoy affordable communication services. Revised interconnection rate is projected to have a positive outcome to both the consumer and the operator. At the retail level, though, consumers will now enjoy access to a variety of affordable services across networks. And of course, this is a story that we are working on for you in depth. I know it's going to elicit a lot of reactions in the coming days, but some good news for consumers there in the telecommunications sector coming from the Communications Authority of Kenya, a press release that has just been released. Now, we move on to other stories. Public Service and Gender Cabinet Secretary Margaret Kobia has urged the newly sworn-in Public Service Commission Chairperson Ambassador Anthony Mwaniki to give an equal opportunity to all Kenyans in public job opportunities. Kobia urged the Commission to also ensure gender parity and equality formed the basis of its employment criteria. Have a look.
At all times, obey, respect, uphold the Constitution of Kenya.
Speaking during the swearing-in of the Public Service Commission Chairperson, Ambassador Anthony Mwaniki Mushiri, and two commissioners of the National Gender and Equality Commission, Public Service and Gender Cabinet Secretary Margaret Kobia called on the two entities to pursue gender parity and commit to assist vulnerable groups in the public service recruitment.
To ensure there is diversity, inclusion, especially women, youth, and people living with disability, people who are elderly, all we come in all our diversity. How are we represented in decision making? Therefore, I urge the new commissioners this year, according to gender index, which measures what effort or how we are moving towards getting to an equal world, Kenya has moved from number 118 in 2018 to number 95 in 2021.
Sentiments echoed by Chief Justice Martha Koome, who reminded the commissioners to abide by the oath of office and stay true to their constitutional mandate.
The Commission's mandate, which is broadly marked with the goals of both protecting the rights and interests of the vulnerable groups in our society, imposes an obligation on the commissioners to work towards securing remedies for violation of rights, abuses, and also ensuring compliance with the laws, compliance with our policies, and practices that give rise to a fair, equitable society.
Koome added that the Commission should strive to set high standards that honors meritocracy, transparency, and fairness in employer-employee relationship.
You must therefore strive in your work to ensure that the human dignity of all within our borders, especially the vulnerable groups, is protected and promoted at all the times.
The new office bearers pledged to observe the rule of law in executing their mandate. For Prime Edition, I'm Ben Troy-Njue.
All right, thank you, Njue, for that report. This news is coming to you live from Broadcasting House right here in Nairobi. We are going to be picking this up in just a bit after the break, but happy holidays, and we do hope that you're having a wonderful time wherever you're watching this broadcast from. At KBC Channel 1, we are together with you. Stay with us. We're coming back right after this break.
My youth, my treasure. I will use it to positively build my country Kenya. Kenya all the way. Kujenga nchi ni wajibu wetu kama mayouth. Tujitokeze, tukae rada. This message is brought to you by the Government of Kenya.
Welcome back, and thank you so much for staying with us. On this second part, we take you into the world of education. Education Cabinet Secretary Professor George Magoha says reforms in the Kenya National Examination Council will be tested early next year when 5 exams are administered almost simultaneously. The Cabinet Secretary, who spoke during the launch of the Kenya National Examination Council 5-year strategic framework at the NEC headquarters in Nairobi, called on the council to embrace teamwork for the success of the strategic plan as every opinion should be considered in its implementation. Purity Musea with details of this report.
The Kenya National Examination Council (NEC) has launched the 3rd strategic plan in a bid to address the emerging issues in the education sector brought about by the government's new policies in the implementation of the curriculum. Education Cabinet Secretary George Magoha, who officially launched the strategic plan, said that there was need to review the progress in the implementation of the strategic plan every year to take note of the gains or failures.
Re-emphasize the critical pillar of results-based management adopted by the government in 2004. Reasons why government is spending so much money and we have nothing to measure is because we are not adhering to what is already supposed to be done.
Magoha further said that next year shall test whether the transformation in NEC will succeed, pointing out that 5 examinations are scheduled to take place.
By the end of February, by the grace of God, the examinations for December this year shall be ready for administration, which means it shall not matter who takes over as president
we as patriotic civil servants will have delivered what we have to deliver for our children.
The CS rubbishing claims that learners will pay for the exams.
There shall be no examination fees paid for all children, for both public and private schools, which means for both poor and rich children.
He added that the success of these curriculum reforms will require a multi-sectoral participatory approach of all stakeholders in the education sector.
Takes cognizance of the government's Big Four agenda and lays strategies for NEC to contribute to its achievement in assessment of technical and vocational education and training.
Purity Museo, Prime Edition.
All right, moving on, Nairobi Metropolitan Services Director Major General Mohamed Badi has this evening officially unveiled the city's Christmas tree in Westlands, Nairobi. Major General Badi took the opportunity to laud Nairobi County Administration for sparing the Westlands Mugumo tree that was to face the axe during the city's beautification exercise. Badi said the fig tree will go a long way to help in the 10% forest cover. Speaking during the event, the Director General said the country needs to conserve the environment to reduce pollution.
Mti umekuwa hapa kuanzia sisi tukiwa watoto. Mti huu ni miaka 150. Kwa hivyo uko katika akili yetu sote tukikulia Nairobi na hata ya wazee wetu. Kwa hivyo ilikuwa ni muhimu sana kuongozwa na rais kuhakikisha kuwa huu mti umehifadhika na leo tunaweza kusherehekea Krismasi kwa mti huu. Kwa hivyo yangu ni kuleta message ya Krismasi kutoka mtukufu rais kwenu nyinyi nyote, na nawatakia sherehe hii ziwe za fanaka na mwaka mpya unaokuja uwe wa heri. Kwa hivyo yangu
All right, away from that particular report, government spokesperson Cyrus Oguna is now calling on Kenyans to take the COVID-19 vaccine, saying that the government cannot control the pandemic without their support. Speaking after touring the Longisa Level 4 hospital in Bomet County, Oguna further urged Kenyans to adhere to the COVID-19 safety protocols as they celebrate the festive season.
Makali ya maambukizi, lakini pia kuweza kuzuia kwamba wewe ukiipata usipitishe kwa mwenzako kwa njia ya haraka. Kwa hivyo tunapopata chanjo lazima pia tuunganishe na kanuni zingine. Hizo kanuni ni kwamba lazima tuvae barakoa, na nasema ni asante kwa sababu wengi hapa naona wako na barakoa za kwao. Pia tuweze kuweka hatua isiyopungua mita 1. Ile tunaita social distance, lakini pia tuoshe mikono zetu. Inamaanisha kwamba tukiunganisha zote hizo 4, kupata chanjo, kuvaa barakoa, kuweza kuweka hatua isiyopungua mita 1 na kuosha mikono, tutakuwa tumepunguza msururu wa maambukizi ya corona. Kwa hivyo tunaomba tu wananchi wetu kwamba tujiandikishe, kwa sababu gharama ya matibabu haipo chini sana. Manake sote kwa kweli maisha ni magumu kwa wananchi, na tumekuwa na mazoea kila baada ya miaka 5 tunakuwa na matatizo ya kiusalama, matatizo ya kunakuwa kimbia hapa na pale. Miaka 5 sasa tuwe tumesahau mambo haya yote. Ina maana kwamba nyakati tunapokuwa kwenda kuchaguana, tuchaguane kwa njia ya amani, kwa sababu miradi hii tumestaja ya barabara, ya nguvu ya umeme, ya stima, ya mashule, hiyo 100% transition, hospitali hii na mengine mengi tuweze kuyalinda.
All right, let me take you to Nakuru County. A 50-year-old widow in downtown Nakuru has left a charitable mark through her feeding program targeting street families, persons with disabilities and the elderly from her home area. The program that kicked off in April last year with just 15 beneficiaries enjoying a meal every Monday morning has since grown to more than 350 people. And as the world celebrates the festive season, Waithera Ng'ang'a is appealing for more well-wishers as she marches on with her charitable deed.
At the crack of dawn in downtown Nakuru, 50-year-old Waithera Ng'ang'a prepares a meal for 400 people. Once ready, the food is then ferried to a local public square where her beneficiaries await. Before the meal, the congregants gathered here treated to spiritual nourishment by Waithera, followed by words of encouragement. This is then followed by the main order of the day, eating. The 50-year-old says the initiative kicked off April last year, and though it started off with a small number of beneficiaries, it has now attracted up to 400 people drawn from street families, elderly people and persons with disabilities. The widow gets the food from a farm she has leased that produces maize and beans. From the onset of the program, she has received well wishes that assist in her generosity.
Moyo wangu kaumia nikikumbuka niko na kamchere kwa nyumba, niko na tumaragwe. Moyo wangu kaamua kwamba hata kama ni COVID na sijui itaishia wapi, sioni kwa nini niwe na chakula ya kesho na kuna mtu anakufa leo na njaa.
For the beneficiaries, Waithera is heaven sent.
Huu ni mwaka wa pili akiwa anasaidia na wazee hapo, na kwa sababu naonekana sio hawa tu huwa zaidi ya 200.
Hata Mungu anajua, Mungu alimjua. Sikuwa na mtu wa kunipea chakula, hata pesa naenda kama kiwete, huwezi tembea.
Watu wanatoka as far as Paruti, watu wanatoka Kaptembwa, Sira family sa chini, na wanakuja hapa kila siku ya Monday kuja kukura. Sasa huyu mama amekuwa kama mama yao, anawasaidia.
That's however not to say that her generosity doesn't come with its own fair share of challenges.
Mahala ambapo ninapikia ama mahala ambapo ninaishi, ninakuwa na changamoto kwa sababu watu hawanielewi, wanaona kama ile kupika na kuni kwa ploti, kwa sababu mimi sina kwangu na komboa. Wanaona ni kama uchafu, wanasema ninawaletea moshi, ni kama ninaharibu environment, na wanaona ni kama si kazi nzuri na ni kama ninawasumbua.
This festive season being one of giving and sharing the little that people have, the widow is now seeking support to her philanthropic initiative that is attracting more and more beneficiaries day in, day out. Yusufar reporting for Prime Edition.
That report by Yusuf Farah takes us to our second break, but do stay with us. Still more lined up ahead for you. Matters business, matters sports, and also remember that interview that we'll be having for you a little bit later on Extra Mile. Narok County Governor Samuel Oletunai will be discussing much more concerning his leadership and his plan and vision ahead with John Jacob Curie in just a bit. Do stay with us for that and much more.
Ili kupata skiza tune hii ya usiogope kumaliza mwaka, bonyeza *811*758#.
Hebu tafakari haya. Mpemba haogopi mvua ndogo, msasi haogopi mwiba, mshoni haogopi sindano. Uoga huleta hofu, uoga huzuia ufanisi, uoga hulemaza safari, safari ya ujasiri, safari ya ufanisi, safari ya...
Ili kupata skiza tune hiyo ya usiogope kumaliza mwaka, bonyeza *811*758#. *811*758#.
Christmas itself is still on with the Next Meal family. I wish all Kenyans a happy Christmas and a prosperous 2022. God bless you.
Good evening, welcome to Business. I am Cynthia Nyamai. Now, the East African Community Heads of State have adopted 7 out of the 10 agreed steps towards admission of the Democratic Republic of Congo into the bloc. The Central African mineral-rich country will have to fulfill the 3 remaining conditions before it can officially be adopted in the East African Community. The EAC leaders have urged DRC to hasten the implementation process to ensure the country enjoys the benefits of the regional bloc. DRC, a mineral-rich country with a population of 90 million people, is anticipated to formally join the community before April 2022.
The verification exercise was launched by President Felix Tshisekedi of the DRC on the 25th of June 2021. By November 22nd, a verification report was tabled after a visit to Kinshasa to ascertain the country's level of conformity with the criteria for admission. At the meeting, the EAC heads of state lauded efforts made so far by the DRC.
A key plank of our deliberations today was progressing the aspirations of our brothers and sisters in the Democratic Republic of the Congo to join with us in the East African community. I consider this as a testament of not only the success of the East African community, but also the opportunities that remain untapped.
Rwanda welcomes the progress made with regards to the admission in the East African community of the Democratic Republic of Congo. We look forward to the prompt conclusion of the remaining admission procedures.
Congo is really part of East Africa historically, especially the eastern part of Congo. They speak Swahili. They are similar to our tribes here. And it is colonialism which had kept Congo in another arrangement.
We have considered the verification mission report on readiness of DRC to join the community, and we have given directives which will expedite finalization of the remaining processes.
The report considered, among other things, the institutional frameworks in place, policies, projects and programs, areas of cooperation with other EAC partner states, and DRC's expectations from her membership to the community. The negotiations in today's meeting took into account the DRC profile and its level of compatibility with EAC stages of development in trade, liberalization and development, cooperation in investment, and industrial development. At the same time, partner states called for greater integration, with trade barriers still being a major headache for the region.
Travel within the region has been a big challenge for the cross-border traders and EAC citizens, due to multiple testing at varying costs. To this, the Secretariat has developed an EAC pass, and the EAC pass will be able to make it easier for citizens to travel.
The summit also considered the amendment of the quorum rule of the summit of the EAC heads of state, the roadmap for the accelerated integration of the Republic of South Sudan into the EAC, and the verification exercise for the admission of the Republic of Somalia into the community. Alan Nauko, Prime Edition.
Sarai Group, a Ugandan-based conglomerate, has taken over the management of the Mumias Sugar Company effective today, ending months of push and pull. Sarai Group will now meet with stakeholders and creditors to chart a revival strategy for the troubled sugar miller. A readout from the receiver manager, Panangale Rao, says the lease is in conformity with the November court ruling that annulled the previous lease.
During its heydays a decade ago, Mumias Sugar used to be Kenya's leading sugar producer, milling more than 250,000 tons of sugar a year. However, mismanagement, debts, and high operating costs led to its closure. In September 2019, the loss-making farm was placed under receivership by KCB Group to protect its assets and maintain its operations. Mumias Sugar shares were then suspended from the Nairobi Securities Exchange. Shareholders have been keeping a close watch on the leasing deal, including the state that has a 20% stake and creditors who are owed over 11 billion shillings. A total of 8 investors submitted their bids in an effort to lease the troubled sugar factory to Mars Enterprises. Narendra Raval of Deviki and West Kenya Sugar were among the investors who placed bids to lease Mumia's sugar. Under the leasing deal, the successful farm will run the plant and pay monthly fees to KCB, which is owed 545 million shillings for up to 15 years. And today, Sarai Group, a Ugandan-based farm, has taken over the operations of the troubled mill effective today. In a statement, receiver manager and court-appointed administrator Punangipali Rao says, I hereby confirm awarding the leasing and assets belonging to Mumia's Sugar Company Limited in receivership and under administration to Sarai Group Uganda. According to Rao, the firm emerged as the winner in a bidding process that lasted for more than 4 months, adding that the lease is in the interest of all stakeholders and in conformity with the recent court ruling. He pointed out that the lease did not include the ethanol and the cogen plants. Sarai Group Chairman Singh Rai says their immediate focus will be the rehabilitation of the machinery back to operational status and engaging sugarcane growers and workforce to ensure collaboration to revive the factory. The group's sugar production include Kenyara Sugar, Hoima Sugar and Kiandogo Sugar in Uganda, with a total installed capacity of 19,000 tons, crushed per day, producing over 170,000 tons of sugar per annum and over 12,000 outgrower farmers.
Now let's head to Kisumu, where the county has signed a memorandum of understanding with the Kenya National Federation of Juakali Association along with Zamara Group to incorporate the informal sector to the pension and insurance system. This adds to the deal signed between the devolved unit and various investors during the Kisumu International Investment Summit and Expo that sought to stimulate investment. Wycliffe Oketch reports.
The informal sector was the main subject of the day as curtains came down on the 3-day Kisumu International Investment Summit and Expo. Although the informal sector creates about 90% of new jobs, most of the workers do not have pension and insurance. As such, the Kenya National Federation of Juakali Associations along with Zamara Group have signed a deal with Kisumu County Government to get more of those in the informal sector access formal financial services.
The informal economic sector players do not save. They have never been guided. There's never been a specific product targeting them for their future. Zamara and the Juakali sector, after many months of negotiation and agreeing, we have come up with a very unique program for dignifying the informal economic sector. That product is coming with the last expense component in it. You see a lot of arambes that are conducted in the villages because of very little money, even less than 20,000. This product for the last expense that is encompassed with this joint program is going to take care of that.
Out of the estimated 20 million employed people in Kenya, only 3 million of them are in formal employment. Now another 17 million, the bulk of them is in the informal sector. So it is a sector that we must invest in so that we bring them from informal, as the governor says, to formal.
One of the programs to be rolled out under the agreement is the creation of a digital platform to stimulate savings among those in the informal sector.
We have come up with a digital solution together with the Juakali Federation that enables every Kenyan, anybody with an ID, is able to set up a very secure pensions and insurance account linked to their national ID. Open this in 2 minutes. Anybody can save any amount, any time, from anywhere using any channel. They can view their statement every day. Interest is allocated every day. They can access the money if they really want to.
For Prime Edition, I am Wycliffe Oketch.
Well, that's it for business for now. We'll hand you over to sports with Karen Kibet.
Cynthia, for putting us up to speed with all the latest in the world of business. It's now time for us to take a look at what's making headlines in the world of sports. My name is Karen Kibet. Now, a star-studded shortlist for the 2021 Sawyer Awards Most Promising Boy category will battle it out for the award during the annual gala dinner to be held in Kakamega County in January. The 5 finalists are headlined by athletics star Emmanuel Wanyonyi, who won gold in the 800 meters at the World Under-20 Championship in Nairobi, clocking achieving a championship record time of 1 minute 43.76 seconds. Wanyonyi will face stiff competition from fellow athlete Harrison Wanyonyi, who beat all the odds to win gold in the walk race, a first for Kenya in the event. Also in contention in another athletic star, Vincent Keter, who was victorious in the 1500 meters. Apart from athletics, Kenya Rugby Under-20 fly half Andrew Matoka is also in the top 5 finalists, together with golfer Taimur Malik. Moving on, Boxing Federation of Kenya has confirmed the return of Ndondi Mashinani tournament starting next year in a bid to give budding boxers a chance to showcase their talent and promote the sport from grassroots levels. The tournament was disrupted by the outbreak of the COVID-19 and lack of a sponsor. Meanwhile, the federation has revealed that a training clinic for coaches and referees will be a priority in the start of the new season.
After disruption by COVID-19 and lack of a sponsor to promote boxing in the counties, Kenya Boxing Federation has confirmed the return of Ndondi Mashinani tournament starting next year in a bid to give budding boxers a chance to showcase their talent and promote the sport from the grassroots levels. The federation reiterated that the tournament will be held in 5 different counties.
We need to do a bit of investment in the local boxing clubs, because we discovered most of the clubs do not have equipment, and therefore it becomes difficult for them to sustain having a high number of boxers in their clubs when they don't have equipment to be able to practice what the exercise they do. So we've been going around the country distributing equipment to the clubs so that they are able to continue tapping talent at the local level.
Meanwhile, a training clinic for coaches and referees will be held at the start of the new season, following a change in coaching system by World Boxing Body IBA.
Referee gives you a public warning. Before, we used to lose 1 point, but this time round, a boxer will be losing 2 points for public warning. And this one is going to count at the end of the round, when now we are doing computation, adding the scores for the judges. They are going to be deducting the 2 points that you were deducted during a bout.
Frederick Muki for Prime Edition.
Thank you, Moki, for that report. Finally, Edin Ketia continued his prolific form in the Carabao Cup with a clinical hat-trick as Arsenal thrashed League One Sunderland 5-1 to book their spot in the semi-finals. Meanwhile, Chelsea will be in action tonight with a match against Brentford, while Liverpool face Leicester City. Tottenham will lock horns with West Ham.
Injecting some pace and quality. Pepe to Suarez, back to Pepe. That's a brilliant goal from Arsenal. Precision, power and a pinpoint finish.
Nicola Pepe marking his milestone 100th appearance with a goal. Once again, fine interplay down the right. Cedric with the pass, it's excellent because no one was expecting it.
Clever through ball. That's a beautifully taken goal. Double checking.
Sunderland were in. I have to say it's an excellent pass to find Broadhead.
Here's Tavares. Great finish. All important third goal early in the second half, and it's another strike for Eddie Nketiah.
Eddie Nketiah, once again, the man on the spot inside the 6-yard box, as he so often is. And Arsenal have got their 2-goal cushion back. It's Arsenal 3, Sunderland 1.
And that's all we had for you tonight. I'll see you tomorrow with more sports stories. Same time, same place. Do have yourself a peaceful night, but the broadcast is not yet over, as I do hand you back to Serfine.
Thank you so much, Karen Kibet, for that. Indeed, the broadcast is not over. We have a very important interview for you that is just about to come your way. Samuel Ole Tunai, Governor of Narok County, is our guest on Extra Mile tonight. His highlights serving as the Governor of Narok. Does he have any low moments? And what is currently in his entry as the country edges closer to the 2022 general election? What is he up to? John Jacob Kiria will be engaging him happening in just a bit. But first, let's take a very short break. From me, it's actually a wrap. Thank you so much for creating time for us. But do join us on the other side as John Jacob Kere will be having that interview. But for me, it's good night and God bless. Thank you so much for watching.
This could be your sister, brother, or you. Say no to gender-based violence. Say no to GBV.
The Amazons.
I have it. I actually have everything that you are looking for. I know you want it. Vicente gave it to me. He warned me about you and he said that this would happen.
I am one of the most interested parties who wants to know who killed Vicente.
Just take it easy.
You might doubt it, Madam Bernarda.
This message is brought to you by the government of Kenya.
Sometimes there isn't a worse enemy than your own heart. A rebellious heart.
Forget about her. She's married now.
She's not happy. I can't see her like this. A guilty heart.
I can't take it anymore, Mama.
I'm sorry I forced you to marry Damien.
A determined heart. I still love you. Let's run away.
But what about my children?
Lying heart.
It's the season of sharing and making merry, and your favorite TV station is here to make your Christmas more memorable. Watch KBC Channel 1 this holiday season and stand a chance of winning thousands of shillings in cash prizes and shopping vouchers. Look out for our trivia questions and get rewarded for answering the questions correctly. KBC Channel 1, giving you 1,000 reasons to be happy.
Tonight on Extra Mile, we speak to Narok Governor Samuel Oletenai, one of a few governors who are serving their last term. We'll talk about his legacy, the concept of devolution, how many steps have been made in terms of making devolution a success, and of course, 2022, what is his game plan? Here's a conversation tonight on Extra Mile. Karibu sana, Governor. You're welcome.
Karibu, asante sana.
Let's begin with your legacy as the Narok Governor. You've been in for the last 9 years as Governor, Narok County, 2 terms. What would you say is your legacy?
Thanks to His Excellency the President Uhuru Kenyatta, there is not a single road which was there in Narok County, except the main road, which starts from Maimayo, going just across Narok town.
The highway.
The highway. There's no other single road. Thanks to His Excellency the President Uhuru Kenyatta, now we have a number of tamaruks within Narok County, from Narok to Sikinani, Masai Mara Game Reserve, from Narok, connecting us to Narok Kuru, from Kilgoris, all the way now to Murwa Dikir. A number of roads, about 400 kilometers of tarmac road, have been done during the tenure of His Excellency the President Uhuru Kenyatta. So we are grateful. It has not been there before 2013. So that one, I persuaded is the Jubilee administration, and I must say I'm grateful because I personally made the request, and I must thank the Jubilee administration because it was done because of my personal request. When I took over, this was a community, definitely a county where there was a lot of divisions then, as you must appreciate. You know that. There were issues of Enospokia, where there were issues, there were tribal issues, and there are a number of issues. And my first task is to bring all these communities together to ensure that Narok is for all of us, to demystify issues to do with tribe against tribe, clans against clans. Because you might think that the only issue is another, for example, Maasai against Kalenjin or the Maasai against Kikuyu. There is also issues of clans. There are 7 clans. and there are competing interests against also the clans on issues to do with land and so forth. And you can't develop, you can't move forward if communities themselves have competing interests as competing issues. And my first assignment as a county is to bring all these communities together and then move forward. When I took over and formed government as a county government, I ensure that there is inclusiveness. There is no tribe which is not in my government. The Kipsigis are there, the Maasais are there, the Kikuyu are there, the Somalis are there, the Dorobos are there. Small, big, everybody's there.
Let's talk about your legacy in early childhood education. I'm imagining taking over the reins of power in Narok. You're talking about equalization fund, and then you're looking at a county that was neglected by the previous regimes. Obviously, the education standard would be lower than the other counties.
Now, when I took over in 2013, matters education, let me say that. Now, you know that ECD is devolved. Education, primary, secondary, going up, is national function. Coming to Narok, I found that when I was doing public participation, as the law provided, the people of Narok said, no, Governor, we know primary infrastructure and secondary is national, but this is our priority. So please, what we are asking the county government is to build primary infrastructure and secondary infrastructure. Up to now, 2.5 billion shillings. 2.5 billion shillings of my allocation have gone to primary and secondary school infrastructure. So I've put virtually, I can say more than 90%. We have about more than 900 primary schools in Narok County. There is no more than 90% of schools, primary schools in Narok, have got school, at least not less than 2 classrooms funded by the county government. Each one. And then the boarding schools, we are funded either a dormitory or a dining school or dining hall, or depending on the need of the school. More than 200, almost 300 now, secondary schools. More than 90% again, we are funded. There's either dining halls or classes, or depending on the need also. Of course, with the help of the CTF. When it comes to ECD, that is our function. So of course we have changed the whole game plan now, because we have built so many of them, ECDs, because that is our function. So of course, before we came in, I could say it was almost, let's say 5-10%. Right now, when we went in, the children who are going to school ECD was like below 15%. Right now, more than 80%. We have employed more than 1,130 ECD teachers. And just the other day, we absorbed them into permanent and pensionable.
Narok County is a tourism hub, Governor. Probably elucidate to us, in terms of streamlining revenue collection from the Mara, how you've been able to do that as governor. Because in your State of the County address just the other day, you highlighted even the challenges of what COVID-19 has done to revenue collection when it comes to tourism in Narok County.
As the sector, we have really suffered during the COVID-19, as you know. During COVID, we lost so many jobs. In March 2020, when the president announced the lockdown because of COVID, we lost so many jobs. We lost a lot of businesses during the lockdown. Mara, of course, was closed. The coast was closed. And, when the airlines were no longer coming to Nairobi. And, of course, this was because of COVID. It is not only Kenya, but the whole world. We thank the president and, of course, the counties. We also took a number of measures to try to cushion the industry and our business community. The measures which the president took, the money which were given to help the conservancies, the 1 billion to help the conservancies, the sector, the money which were given to help the hotel to cushion them and all that. It really helped. And since then, the domestic tourism really helped the sector. It really helped. When the lockdown was removed in Nairobi and Mombasa, a lot of domestic tourism really helped sustain the Masai Mara Game Reserve. And Mombasa, as you know that, it really helped. And yes, in Narok, we lost 90% of our revenue. As you know, Narok County government really depend on revenue from Masai Mara Game Reserve. So 90% of our revenue went. As you know, when a foreigner visit Masai Mara, they pay $80. When you go as John, you pay 1,000 shillings. So even if it is full from local, as county, we get very little, but of course hotels get, and I'm happy because we get jobs, which is good for our people and their businesses, which is still okay. But the sector, we had really suffered. But last year, this year, actually June, July, we get a lot of international guests during the migration. That was June up to October. Although this year was actually much, much better. The migration was fantastic this year. We got a lot of guests. And next year was also looking very, very good. And even this December, Christmas, a lot of guests were coming until Omicron again came. So I hope this Omicron is not going again to spread so much. And my prayer again is, I hope we are not going to have another lockdown. I hope His Excellency the President is not going to close the economy. We are not going to have another lockdown. We cannot afford the economy. We're not going to afford another one. One other thing I want you to know about the Mara, we thank His Excellency the President. As we speak now, an international airport is being constructed. This is going to be great for Mara, the Serengeti Mara ecosystem, because now guests can be able to fly directly to the Masai Mara Game Reserve. What we are looking for is, with the migration in the Mara, we hope that the migration will also be in the Serengeti, so that guests now can be able to drive or fly directly from Mara to the Serengeti. And that will increase businesses, create jobs in the region. People now can fly directly from Entebbe, from Kigali, from Zanzibar, of course from Dar es Salaam. You don't have to come to Wilson or go to Kilimanjaro International or go to Nairobi. I think health is another great area we have been looking at. Again, thanks to COVID-19, we have really put a lot of resources in health. As Narok, we have our main referral hospital, which we have really upgraded. At the moment also, we are working on a level 5, which is under construction. And we want to finish it, God willing, before by April. We are also putting a medical school. Want to finish it, God willing, by April. We have 7 sub-counties we are putting a level 6, a level 4 hospital in each one.
Each of the sub-counties?
Each of the sub-counties. Okay. So, and they are almost all complete in each sub-counties. We have 2 or 3 health facilities in the county which I've constructed since I took over, and some upgraded. We have employed over 400 health workers since we took over. These are doctors, clinical officers, and nurses. We have just added another 100 the other day, so now over 500. And we are sending these ones all to a lot of our rural areas so that our citizens are able to get medical access. They're able to access medical attention at very near centers. So this is happening. We have also stocked our medical centers with medicine, because what is important for medical is 1, infrastructure, 2, health workers, 3, medicine. Agriculture is very important to us. I can say we are the food basket of this country. We are the only county so far where you can cultivate more than 20,000 acres. 1 person, if you want, can lease. We 80% of Kenya's barley come from Narok. 80% going to Kenya breweries. 80%. About now 60% of Kenya's wheat come from Narok. We have sugar factory in Transmara. We produce so much potatoes, tomatoes, vegetables. Of course, a lot of livestock come from Narok. A lot of your meat now. And of course, sheep and goats, so much. So agriculture is the backbone of of Narok economy also. And we can still do better now. Now, what have we done as Narok, as the county government? First of all, in terms of livestock, sometime 4 or 5 years ago, we had done a livestock show, and the county government bought a lot of. We bought breeds, cattle breeds, and we distributed to each ward, to the farmers free of charge, to upgrade their cattle. So either to those who want beef, we give them free of charge. Those who want dairy, we give them. So we give them to cooperatives and also to the cooperative and farmers. We are also working there is a program between us as a county government and it's called NARIC and the World Bank, where we put money, and the World Bank put also some money. It has really transformed the agricultural sector in the county government. So the farmers are trained. It has really increased productivity, because that is the main thing, to increase productivity of the farmers.
Obviously, the choice of your successor would be quite important in Narok County. And when you spoke the other time, you said you will speak when the time comes in terms of who you will throw your weight behind. You've made that decision yet?
I think for that, John, you see, on matters to do with generally, let me say, succession, definitely these are very weighty issues, as you might know. And you know that when I speak, definitely it have serious repercussions on many. And I must tell you that I respect so many of these, of all the applicants who are there now. All of them are my friends. The people who have done the wheat looking for this position, they are my friends, And all of them are qualified to take up this position of governor. They are all qualified. The most important is to get somebody who will come and unite the people, and to continue uniting. And I will want to say that there is nobody so far CAS Solentutu, Honorable Tongoyo, Honorable Soipan, because those are the three. I think I saw from the media that Honorable Lemaine has decided to continue to
serving as MP,
to continue to go and contest his position. So I think those are the three now who have already declared. So the three, for me, they are really qualified. I think for now, we know we are going to the new year, isn't it? And I think let's just wait.
Okay.
Just let's wait a bit. Let's see. Let's wait for the new year. And because the important thing is to get somebody who can come and unify these people and bring the county together.
Like you said, Governor, anything you say about your choice of successor will be quite strong, to be a big support for the candidate. Are you saying that finally you will embrace somebody, or you will endorse somebody, or you just leave the three to square it out amongst themselves?
No, just wait. Don't just you ask another question.
Mr. Veldrick, Governor, with this illustrious career as Governor, Narok County, what next for Governor Tunai? Are we going to see a Senator Tunai in 2022?
I think again for that one, for me, I've not declared whether I'll go for any other seat, but I think for now we are going for Christmas, we are going for New Year. Let's just wait and see the new year. What is there?
All right. Yeah. Governor Samuel Ole Tunai, the governor for Narok County, now serving a second term. He will let the cat out of a bag in the right time, and I hope we'll be the first people to hear once he made a decision on what he wants to do after 2022. Thank you very much for watching Extra Mile. This is KBC, because Kenya is watching.
Log on to the KBC website at www.kbc.co.ke to get the latest breaking news, entertainment, sports, politics, lifestyle or business trends from Kenya and around the world. Never miss new episodes from your favorite TV shows, reruns and movies. Just stream online or watch live on your YouTube channel at KBC Channel 1 TV shows. For the day's biggest stories, trustworthy news and family entertainment, log on to KBC Channel 1. Watch what you want anytime, anywhere.
Ladies and gentlemen, my name is Posire Marupe, all the way from Nyamarambe. I want to wish you a Merry Christmas and a Happy New Year. Wacha iwapambe saiti, and remember, bado corona iko. Take care.
This could be your sister, brother, or you. Say no to gender-based violence. Say no to GBV.
Can I borrow a few minutes of your time?
Where Tito? Time is money.